karta duka harta varta vinyachi nurvi purvi prem krupa jayachi sarvangi sundaruti shendurachi kanti jal ke mal mukta falanchi Jai Deva Jai Mangala Murti Darshan Makleman Kamana Purti Jai Deva Jai Mangala Murti Darshan Makleman Kamana Purti Radna Kachita Fara Tuza Gauri Kumara Chandana Chiyoti Kumkum Keshera Hire Jadita Mukuta Shobha Tobara Runjuntino Pure Chani Gagaria Jai Deva Jai Mangala Murti Darshan Makleman Kamana Purti Jai Deva Jai Mangala Murti Darshan Makleman Kamana Purti Lambodar Pitambar Fanivar Vandana Sarel Sundava Kratunda Trinayana Das Ramachavat Pai Sadana Sankashte Pavave Survar Vandana Jai Deva Jai Mangala Murti Darshan Makleman Kamana Purti Jai Deva Jai Mangala Murti Darshan Makleman Kamana Purti Jai Deva Jai Mangala Murti Darshan Makleman Kamana Purti Jai Deva Jai Mangala Murti Darshan Makleman Kamana Purti
Jai Shri Mataji. And welcome to UK online meditation for Thursday, the 10th of August. Let us begin with Sri Ganesha's mantra, one time. Let us begin by collectively raising our kundalinis together and putting ourselves in bandana. Sri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Sri Ganesha Sakshat Sri Adi Shakti Mataji Sri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. With our attention completely turned inwards onto our Sushumna, from Muladhara to Sasrara, the path of the Kundalini. Shri Gauri Kundalini Mata. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Gauri Kundalini Mata Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. We'll carry on with a short silent meditation introduced by this beautiful verse from Rabindranath Tagore. Thou hast made me endless. Such is thy pleasure. This frail vessel thou emptiest again and again, and fillest it ever with fresh life. This little flute of a reed thou hast carried over hills and dales, and hast breathed through it melodies eternally new. At the immortal touch of thy hands, my little heart loses its limits in joy and gives birth to utterance ineffable. Thy infinite gifts come to me only on these very small hands of mine. Ages pass, and still thou pourest, and still there is room to fill. In today's meditation, we pose a very simple question, or at least the answer is extremely simple. How do we stay on the central path? And the answer lies in Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi herself, our Holy Mother. With all our attention and all our devotion, we recognize your divinity. We humble down before your lotus feet. In every moment of every day, we remember you. You reside in our hearts. We reside in your body. The answer lies in these words of Mother. You are all officials of God's kingdom, then why are you sulking? All deities are your elder brothers in this kingdom. They are present in many forms along the path of the Kundalini. You should recognize and attain them. Kundalini is your mother. Learn to remain always under her care. Be her child, and she will take you to the ultimate. Once you attain that from where everything is born, you will have the rest very easily. But you are not consistent in the practice of meditation, love, and peaceful life. You are talking casually, even to me, but how eager you are in worldly matters, how you become adamant on having what you want. Why are you not casual in that respect? Do not run away from the reality because I am Mahamaya. Attain me. I am yours. I am for you. I have given you that which has been beyond the reach of the very great sages and saints. How will you use it? You have been given a big asset. Thousands and stars and planets were created with its just one wave. There is great significance in your rebirth. That was the English translation of a letter by Sri Mataji in Marathi, first published in Nirmala Yoga magazine in 1983. And this, you have to meditate at least 10 minutes every evening and morning about 5 minutes with complete devotion, with complete admiration. I have seen some people here, such bhakti, such devotion, which is shraddha, is higher than bhakti, that it becomes part and parcel of your being. It just envelops you completely. When you have that shraddha, it is very miraculous. It works so many miracles. It's true, some people were cured only thinking of me is a fact, but that doesn't mean that they had the shraddha of that level. But that means that they have to develop shraddha. Now, how to develop a shraddha, which is a natural light of the spirit? Because people are trying very hard to develop shraddha, but shraddha cannot be developed by mental activity, by any activity, but meditation of silence. If you do the meditation, I've always told you to do meditation. So again, let's take some moments of thoughtless awareness of our Holy Mother and her gifts to us. William Blake, the great incarnation of Sri Bhairava. Lived on this earth as a human being, but a great poet, visionary, painter. His awareness of the divine surpassed all others of his time. In so many ways, he was alone in the world and struggled, as we all do, to stay on the central path. And yet he left words in his letters that speak to us across the centuries, which we as Sadh Yogis can fully absorb and relate to and take inspiration from. He spoke to our hearts In one of his letters, he described so eloquently his day-to-day struggles between earning a living and carrying out his true work and his true desires. So we can take some inspiration from these words.
As my dependence is on engraving at present, I find on all hands great objections to my doing anything but the mere drudgery of work, and intimations that if I do not confine myself to this, I shall not live. This has always pursued me. You will understand from this the source of all my uneasiness. For that I cannot live without doing my duty to lay up treasures in heaven is certain and determined, and to this I have long made up my mind. And why objection should be made to me when drunkenness, lewdness, gluttony, and even idleness itself does not hurt other men? Let Satan himself explain. The thing I have most at heart, more than life, or all that seems to make life comfortable without, is the interest of true religion and science. And whenever anything appears to affect that interest, especially when I myself neglect any duty to my station as a soldier of Christ, it gives me the greatest of torments. I am not afraid, ashamed or averse to tell you what ought to be told, that I am under the direction of messengers from heaven daily and nightly. But the nature of such things is not, as some suppose, without trouble or care. Temptations are on the right and on the left, and behind the sea of time and space roars and follows swiftly. He who keeps not right onwards is lost. And if our feet slide in clay, how can we do otherwise than fear and tremble? But if we fear to do the dictates of our angels, if we tremble at the tasks set before us, if we refuse to do spiritual acts because of natural fears or natural desires, who can describe the dismal torments of such a state? I too well remember the threats I had. If you who are organized by divine providence for spiritual communion refuse and bury your talent in the earth, sorrow and desperation follows you through life, and after death, shame and confusion of face to eternity. Everyone in eternity will leave you, aghast at the man who was crowned with honor and glory by his brethren, and who betrayed their cause to their enemies. You will be called the base Judas, who betrayed his friend. Such words would make any stout man tremble. But I am no longer in that state. And I now go on with my task, fearless. And though my path be difficult, I have no fear of stumbling while I keep it.
The nature
It's a very good question. See, when you meditate, how do you meditate on different chakras is, say you have to meditate on Muladhara. Now you pay attention towards Muladhara and take the name of Sri Ganesh. Say the mantra. You know there are 4 petals. So that mantra should be every time, should be 4 times should said. 4 into 4 you can say. Pay attention there. Now physically also, say we have a Nabhi chakra. So many of you catch a Nabhi. If you have a liver problem, you can rub a little sugar on your Nabhi. Will be a good idea. Or if you have the left hand side problem of Nabhi, if you rub a little oil or ghee or something, it will be a good idea. And then concentrate on that. Try to put attention onto that, especially the chakras which are not all right. You just pay attention to it and meditate on them. Pay attention to it is the point. If you pay attention with the mantra saying, that's how you can meditate on every chakra. And if 2 people can do it, is a better idea. Is see, in your back, on your back, if you show the spinal cord, you can see what chakras are bulging out. Other person can tell you these are the portions which are bulging out. So you go on saying the mantras of that chakra, paying attention, and the other person can tell you whether it is all right or not. For every chakra, there is a mantra which you know. Apart from mantra, you must know what thing should be used, which element should be used for which chakra. For example, for using, say, Muladhara chakra, best way to clear out Muladhara chakra is sit on the ground. Is the best way. I have told you how to do the exercise to be able to sit on the ground straight. It's very good idea of asking the Mother Earth to clear out your Muladhara. For example, if you have to clear out, say, your Nabhi, for Nabhi is made out of the water element, and that's why you have to ask the water element to help you. And for Nabhi, water element is the best. If you can use the water element to clear your Nabhi, it will be a very good idea. Like that, every chakra is made from some element as it is. Swadhisthana is made of earth and water. So the sea is the best for Swadhisthana. If you could go to the sea and work out on Swadhisthana, will be the best for you. Any ocean, or you can use salt and water for Swadhisthana, will be very good. Like, then we can say that for the heart chakra is has to do with what you call the आकाश को क्या बोलते हैं? Firmament. With the firmament, this heart chakra is with the, or no, not firmament. आकाश नहीं. It's made out of air. Air is called, हिंदी में क्या है air का? वायु is air. Air, or you call it air as an element, you call the word air, or firmament. Firmament is ether in English, isn't it? So air, you can say air. Air element is for the heart chakra. So for that I have told you how to do breathing. Breathing is the best way of hold your breath before the photograph, or you can take the breath in, deep breathing, and releasing it for a longer period, cleaning it. All these exercises are there. Then you see the mantra is of Raksha, is the protection, to ask for the protection, is all with the air. All right. Then we come to this one, is here is the इंग्लिश में शब्द क्या होगा तेज आकाश 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 को क्या शब्द है अंग्रेजी में must be firmament होगा what is a firmament in English ether firmament is ether all right so this is the firmament then see I've read one translation but I was not sure this is the akash is the sky this is the sky here all right this is made out of the sky firmament and this is made out of the light firmament is sky is it huh
Yeah.
oh. So this is sky that's why it is viratas this thing and this is your light so for Agya Chakra you have to use the light for this you have to use the sky if your hands put up like this if you say Allahu Akbar put both the hands towards the sky see like that there are so many ways of using the sky watching the sky looking at the sky and for this the sun and the light is to be used now supposing you are suffering from say left side problem is sort of you're possessed or something then you can use the sun you see because the sun will give you the balance but if you have the right side problems like ego and all that you should use the moon put left hand towards the moon but always people do the other way around say these dramatic melodramatic people you see all of them will go to the lunar side they like moonlight and those who are egoistical will go in the sun and burn themselves out so other way around it should be like that if you use you can work it out all right yourself can manage it so these are different centers which must be cleansed and meditated onto and or to be dissolved into their own I mean if you dissolve them into their own elements then you get more strength you see into that particular body it's like that
Could you tell us please about sunset? Are we not to look at sunset?
sunset is not very good sunrise sunset is not good that's the time the sun is taking away all the energies from this earth so it's not such a good time to see it depends on for example ego oriented people if they see sun would be better I think little bit of their ego might be drawn out but people who have got a left side problem should see the sunrise will be good it's only the other way around you see now good question very good now any other question
when Kundalini rises, can you feel the Kundalini in each chakra? Or can you feel lower chakra? Or it can rise to the higher chakra at once?
actually normally if your instrument is perfect you don't feel it anywhere it just sends through and you just feel the cool breeze from your head and you can feel the Kundalini's what you call the fountain coming out as cool breeze but if your chakras are closed or there's some problem or they're defective or sick or anything is there then the Kundalini goes there and hits it like especially void if you have a void this thing you can see it clearly at the back of a person if the void is caught up you can see that at the end of the void here it will go on pushing like that and it if the Sushumna, the central path, is absolutely clear cut. A person is absolutely in the center. Then the Kundalini just goes like that straight. And they also never have any problem. Later. Heat comes in if you have a liver problem or a right side problem. On the right side is too much of heat. On the left side, it is too much of cold. Some people feel very cold and they perspire and this and that. If you have the left side problem, then you get perspiration, especially with the heart. Or some people who have very low blood pressure or who have left side problem can feel very cold also. The heat comes because of liver mainly. Those who have too much of sun in them, the heat starts coming. Also, heat is a sign of overactivity in a person. A person is overactive. Cancer gives too much heat. I've seen cancer also gives too much heat. Gives so much heat that one cancer patient can really make the whole house heated up. Don't need any heater. A cancer patient, if you know how to raise the Kundalini. And the left side is it's a common experience. It's very interesting, you know. Surgery is very interesting. Even cancer makes you laugh the way the things are. But surprisingly, you'll be amazed that I've not come across one cancer patient so far who is just right-sided. Always he ends up in the left. Means he must have had some sort of a problem with a black magic or some bad guru or some sort of a thing which is unauthorized against God. Something like that. Cancer is always, I have seen it, always leukemia treated, cancer of what you call peritoneum, cancer of kidneys, cancer of lungs, all of them had this. That means somewhere a guru or somebody, or some black magic or spiritualist or something like that, he has intervened with the personality. And then you get this cancer business. So, remarkable thing.
Does the heat always indicate the cancer?
Huh?
Does the heat always indicate the cancer problem?
What?
Does the
Heat indicates what?
heat indicate the cancer problem?
Cancer?
Yes.
No. Heat indicates liver, mainly liver, alright? And cancer is also when the cells become ego-oriented. See, a person who is ego-oriented, they think too much, they work very hard, they get liver. You see, because one center has to do the liver, the pancreas, the spleen, the kidneys, and uterus. Imagine. And the same has to look after the cells for the brain, the same center, Swadhisthana. When it has to work both the things, naturally if you start thinking too much, then what happens? That these are neglected. So you develop liver, you develop kidney, you develop diabetes, you develop uterus troubles, you see, all these things come. Apart from that, it goes further. By that time, when you overdo it, then your left side starts freezing. Ego orientation of any society will give you more heart attacks. But when ego develops too much in a society, people start seeing it. Then they get frightened of the ego. Then they must drink. Because just to run away from the ego, that they can't bear, you see themselves that egoistical. So they drink, they take to drugs, these things to run away. Because they can't just bear the ego of people. They find they're really silly idiots, you see, going around. So they don't want to be like them, so they take the other side. When they go to the other side, they go to the left side. Now, when going to the left side, both things being sort of very much fought out, there's a wobbling going on in your brain. With that, you develop all these problems. But if you are only left-sided, you may be absolutely reading only Lord Byron, and you can land up in lunatic asylum. You can. I've seen one like that. Only reading Lord Byron could be possible. Because he just makes you miserable. He himself was a very funny man. but he wants everybody to be miserable. See? And he always sings songs of such crying. I mean, such a man, I don't know how he developed this kind of a melodramatic stuff. But I've known people who came to me who have been just crying reading this Lord Byron. He himself enjoyed life very well. So one has to take a very, very wise and sane attitude towards life. That you are the eternal life. That you are the eternal being. And you have come on this earth to enjoy all the blessings that God has created for you. And not for weeping and crying and feeling guilty. That's not your job. First thing is that. This is wisdom. And you are not going to make miserable about small, small things of life also. Like the other day I saw a very interesting story of a husband-wife quarreling, ending up into a divorce, and poor husband had no house, you see. So he went to his brother's place. The brother's wife, very particular about everything. She had 3 pets. So he could not put the box anywhere because she would say, no, there's another pet here. Again, poor thing would left the box. Then, no, not there. There's another pet. Then another there. Like that, you see, all the time worried about small, small petty things of life. Also that can create a problem of ego orientation. Live in a very carefree manner. It's not so important. But that doesn't mean laziness. I must tell you, that doesn't mean laziness. Spell it with capital letters all over. By any chance it doesn't mean that. It means hard work. But enjoy it. And not to be involved into things which are of no importance at all. Useless things. Here it is joy spread for you. Why are you bothered about these things? They're not meant for you. Isn't it? David, see, thank God you told me about it. Because I remembered that the secretary of our health ministry in Delhi himself came to see me. He was there for 3 hours because our president has told him that Mataji has cured him. And he is very anxious to verify that saying particular sound, say for the Vishuddhis, like there are 60. A, E, E, U, A, I, O, Ru, Lulu, Aha, 16. Now all these 16 sounds are for 16 petals. But you need not do all that. If you just say the innermost thing is Virat. There is no need to have the sounds or anything. Just to say Virat, it opens out. No use knowing. Unnecessary. Because we have gone to the centermost part, you see, called as the Brahmanadi. You see, if you have to go, say, from the leaf to the root, then you have to know all the way. But if you are coming from the root inside the root, then what is the need? When they moved that way, then only they knew all these things. Say in this house or in any building, you have a lift just in the center, you see, and moving upward. You don't have to know. You just move. But if you have to come from outside every time, every chakra, you will never be able to enter inside the lift. But you will be doing you'll know everything about that particular chakra from outside. But you'll never get in. It's all the sympathetic movement. So there is no need to know. Like this, I was telling you, this is the center, and this is the left, and this is the right. You can come from the left and go back to the left, or you can come from the left and go to the right, but you cannot get inside. And this inside getting is the point. That's the way you do it. All right? So there's no need to. This is all again rambling. Better now. Better. What do you think? Is she better?
Such a beautiful back to basics talk that was. The full talk can be found on amruta.org. If you search 1980-04-24, sympathetic and parasympathetic. We just heard the second half tonight. So let's finish by saying all three of Mother's great mantras. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Maha Saraswati Maha Kali Trigunatmika Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swamini Moksha Pradaini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. 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 So before we raise our Kundalini and put ourselves in bandhan, I would just love to thank everyone for joining us tonight, because the vibrations have been tremendous. And that all comes from our collective connection through Sasrara to the lotus feet of our mother. So I thank everyone who came, and I thank Mother. And I thank Sri Ganesha for bringing us to this point. Jai Shri Mataji. We can raise our kundalinis and put ourselves in bandhan, and then we'll just have some music for a little while to play us out.